Welcome to the Pancake Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey through the layers of life's challenges, all the while savoring the simple pleasure of a perfectly cooked pancake. Your host, Jason Grissom, invites you to join him as he explores the complexities of our world, drawing inspiration from the undeniable truth that there are difficulties in everything except in eating pancakes. In each episode, we'll delve into thought-provoking conversations, stories of triumph over adversity, and expert insights that provide a fresh perspective on the hurdles we face. Just like flipping that pancake to achieve that perfect golden brown, we'll flip our perspectives on life's challenges, aiming to uncover the sweetness hidden within. From resilience to success, from moments of doubt to moments of clarity, we'll uncover the parallels between conquering life's obstacles and savoring the simplest joys. Together, we'll navigate the intricate flavors of our lives, always with a side of optimism and a sprinkle of inspiration. So, if you're hungry for thought-provoking discussions, if you're craving the motivation to tackle challenges head-on, and if you're ready to find joy in the midst of life's complexities, then this is the podcast for you. Get ready to indulge in insightful conversations, topped with a dash of wisdom and a generous serving of encouragement. This is the Pancake Podcast, and we can't wait to dive into the layers of life with you, one pancake and one challenge at a time. So grab your fork and your headphones, because the journey begins now. Let's flip the script on life's challenges and savor the delicious simplicity together, right here on the Pancake Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, flapjack enthusiasts and breakfast lovers worldwide, welcome to the very first episode of the Pancake Podcast. Well, I'm your host, Jason Grissom, and today marks the very first serving of the Pancake Podcast. Now, you might wonder, why call a podcast the Pancake Podcast? Well, it's pretty easy. It comes from my preaching hero, and his name is Charles Haddon Spurgeon. And Spurgeon preached back in the mid-18 to late 1800s, and he wrote a great book called Lecture to My Students. And in this book, Spurgeon wrote a simple yet profound philosophy. He simply said this: everything in life is difficult except eating pancakes. In each episode, we're going to dive into some thought-provoking conversations, and we're going to bring in people who have incredible stories of triumph over adversity. We're going to bring in people who are experts in various fields that are going to provide thought-provoking truths that are going to be rooted in biblical perspectives. Our approach is going to be holistic, because you see, we just simply believe that God has created us to be very complex individuals. And our approach to difficulties, they shouldn't be simplistic or complicated. So in future episodes, you're going to hear from everyday people and their struggles. Struggles with depression, struggles with doubt, and this overall general difficulties in life. Now listen, these are not going to be superhuman beings. They're just simply ordinary people who are going to come in to inform and encourage us how they fight daily to enjoy life amid its difficulties. You will also hear from people from specific medical fields, people from the field of psychology, counselors, and of course, because this is a faith-based podcast, you're going to hear from those who are theological in their profession. And you see, these individuals, though sometimes they may seem to compete against each other, they're actually, all of them together, are a grace from God to those of us who are fighting the good fight of faith. So here at the Pancake Podcast, we're simply not going to give you quick fixes, because we just simply believe that faith is not a magic elixir for what ails us. We truly believe that it is the strength that enables us to fight. And look, this belief doesn't come from some kind of masochistic outlook, but from one who knows how to triumph in difficulties. You know, the Apostle Paul knew something about difficulties in his life, and he wrote what really for us at the Pancake Podcast is a foundational truth found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. This is what Paul wrote. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. Therefore, we don't lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we're being renewed daily. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that simply far outweighs them all. And then if Paul's words are not sufficient enough, what about our Savior's words? Jesus said these words in John chapter 16. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, trouble, difficulties. But take heart, I have overcome the world. Recently, I preached through the book of Proverbs, and there are a lot of truths that stood out to me, but I think what most stood out to me the most was the purpose of wisdom. Wisdom basically has two purposes. Wisdom is needed to keep us out of self-inflicted difficulties. You know, those difficulties that we create because of lack of wisdom. However, wisdom has a second purpose, and that is to keep us from being overcome by sin-inflicted difficulties. These are those difficulties that come naturally from living in a fallen world. At the Pancake Podcast, we want to help our listeners navigate these difficulties. Now, look, I'm using the word navigate specifically because avoidance is impossible. We cannot avoid sinning, though we should sin less, and we cannot avoid living in a sinful world. So since avoidance is impossible, we must learn how to navigate. So it is our aim to provide direction amid conflicting emotions. Now again, navigation is needful, but just simply alone, it is not sufficient. Sometimes ships must go through the storm. Without ballast, they will succumb to its ferocity. You see, balance is that weight that's placed in the bottom of the ship that enables it to sail with balance. Look, podcasts are successful for one reason, and that's their audience. We invite you to join this journey by becoming a Pancake Pal. You ask, what's a Pancake Pal, right? Well, it's someone who subscribes to our podcast, gives us a rating, and leaves us a comment. We also have a YouTube channel. We would encourage you, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. And that little bell that you see right below the video, click on it. And what that does, it turns on notifications. And that will alert you every time we post a new Pancake Podcast. Now, listen, why do we need you to do all of that? Well, we need you to do that because these platforms that we're on, podcast, YouTube, all of these platforms run off of an algorithm. And the more you interact, the better the algorithm works to our benefit. So share our content on social media, of course, and with those who need encouragement and help. Now, you can support our channel by purchasing merch from our store. We have some cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs. My favorite, and hopefully we'll have one by the next episode that we can show you, is a glass cup that has the logo and the motto on the cup. And then also we got some pretty cool stickers that you can pick up as well. So it's our goal to produce 2 episodes each month. And our first episode is going to launch January the 1st. And our first 4 episodes are going to deal with the subject of depression in all of its forms. Following those 4 episodes, we're going to do 4 more episodes dealing with the subject of marriage. Now, we've got a lot of plans for the Pancake Podcast, but listen, we would love to hear from you in the comments about any subject you would like for us to address in future episodes. So look, again, be a Pancake Pal by subscribing, liking, and commenting, and remember to turn on those notifications so you'll know when our next episode launches. You can also join our e-newsletter by emailing us, the Pancakes with an S, podcaster @gmail.com. Now, one last plug before we go. We've taken some time and we've written a daily devotion to help our listeners fight the good fight of faith. And this daily devotion is actually going to come out in 4 books. The first book is currently being completed at the publishers and being prepped to go on Amazon's website. And this devotion is called Note to Self. Now, look, there are 260 days in a year, and that's not counting weekends, of course. And just so happens there are 260 chapters in the New Testament. So what we've done is we've written a devotion for each chapter of the New Testament for each weekday of the year. So each devotion takes about 5 minutes to read. So in total, you're looking at about 25 minutes out of your week to do the devotion. And these devotions are aimed at making, faith actionable daily. They will, I promise you, they will help you to preach the gospel to yourself. Why? So that you can fight the good fight of faith. Now, again, you're going to be able to purchase this devotion in a paperback or Kindle form in Amazon. You can see the show notes below for links to everything that we've talked about here today. And again, please check out our online merch store and consider making a purchase there, because your purchase goes to help support the work that we're doing here at the Pancake Podcast. Again, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you after the launch of episode 1. Until then, remember, there are difficulties in everything except eating pancakes.